Hello, good evening. This is another day whereby we are going to look at a continuation of what we discussed yesterday. As you can get to see, we are discussing logarithms, which we did yesterday. So this will be our lesson number 2. I want us to go direct to our example 2 because example 1 was done yesterday. Now, we will have an example so we can say using logarithm tables, comma, evaluate. So you can be given a number 7.62 times cos 8 divided by 0.049 times 12.44. Then everything is being raised power 2/3. Then we will say solution. So for us to be able to start doing this kind of equation, we must remove the negative sign in the power. So we will use the concept of indices. I want to remind you something on indices. We learned that if you have been given a number a that is being raised power a minus 1, then this means you will find the inverse of a, then you raise everything by a positive 1. Meaning that once you find the inverse of a, the negative will do what? It will disappear. So for example, if I say e.g., you have been given 1/27. It is being raised power minus a third. So this means to remove this minus, we will find the inverse of 1/27, which will be 27/1. Then we raise it by a positive a third. This means it is 27 raised power 1/3. And we know from indices that when a number is being raised power a third, it means we are supposed to find the cube root of 27. So this will give us 3. I wanted to show you how to remove the negative sign. So from indices, this is how we do it. Now let's come back to our question. How do we remove this minus? We will take what's in the denominator to be in the numerator, and what is in the numerator should be taken to the denominator for us to be able to say the negative now as gone. So we are going to have 0.049 times 12.44 divided by 7.62 times cos 8 degrees. Now everything should be raised power positive 2/3. Positive 2/3. The minus now has disappeared because we have now found the symbol of what we were given. From there now we will draw our table. So once we draw the table, we will say number, then we will say standard form, then we will say log. So we are starting from 0.049. 0.049. We must write it in standard form, so which will be 4.9 times 10 raised power. The power we put here depends on the steps we make. Initially, our decimal is at this given point. We move this given point, moving how many steps? 1, 2. So it will be minus 2. And the minus means that the decimal moved from our left to right hand side. And I had explained that in our previous lesson. Now the power here becomes our characteristic. So how do we get the mantissa? We go to our logarithms. Then we find log of 4.9, which is 6902. 6902. 0.02. So next we have 12.44, which will be 1.244 times 10 raised power. In this time around, it is going to be possible 1 because the decimal is moving from our right one step back. So now this 1 becomes our characteristic. Then from our tables, we will look for the power of 1.2 under column 4. Then we go to our add column, we add 14. That will give us 0.948. 0.948. Since we have a multiplication here, now we will add 0.587 minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. It's minus 1. Now let's go to the denominator. We are going to have 7.62, which is already in the standard form. We have to say times 10 raised power 0 because we have not yet moved the decimal to any given point. Then our 0 becomes our characteristic. So 7.62 from our tables, 7.6 under column 2, we are adding 8820. 8820. Next we have cos 48. Cos 48. So there are two ways. We can find logarithms of cosines, which will give us the log direct, or we can find we can go to natural cosines. We find the value of log 48. Cosine of 48 is 0.6691. 0.6691. So this is the value of cosine of 48. This will be our number. We find its standard form, and then we find the logarithm of it. So in standard form, it becomes 6.691 times 10 raised power minus 1. The decimal has moved one step towards our right. So minus 1 becomes our characteristic. Then we look for 6.6. 6.6 under column 9. I'm having H254. Then on add column we have 1. So it will give us H255. H255. Since we have addition here, we now add. So we will add 05 is 5, 25 is 7, 82 is 10, 88 is 16 plus 1 17. Then 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus minus 1 gives us 0. It gives us 0. So this is the answer for the denominator. This is the answer for the numerator. We now subtract the 2. So we will bring them down here and say we have power 1, 78, 50, 0.7075. Then we subtract. So this will be 5, this will be 7, it will be 7, 0. Minus 1 minus 0 is minus 1. Now we multiply by 2 over 3. We multiply by 2, then over 3. So at first we will multiply. I advise you that we will do it manually. So we will add minus 1.0775 times 2 first, which will give us 0, 5, 5, 1 minus 2. Then we now divide it by 3. So we will change the characteristic here, which is minus 2, to be the number we are dividing by. In this case, it is 3. So we will now have power 3 plus, then we ask ourselves the difference between these 2 that we have here initially and these 3 now we are having. The difference between these 2 and 3 is 1. So that's what we add here. Then now we put the mantissa the way it is. We divide the mantissa part by 3, then the characteristic part by 3. So this will give us power 1 plus 0 point. Now you are allowed to use your calculator at that given point because the other part is where the characteristic is positive. So once you divide by 3, you get 385. 385. Then minus 1 plus 0 is minus 1. Then from there we find the answer. Before we do that, this characteristic will now turn to be our power. Then we find answer of dot 385. Answer of dot 38 under column 5, giving us 2.427. Is giving us 2.4. Let me confirm again. 2.427. 2.427. When a number is being raised power minus, as I told you here, so it means we will have 2.427 times. To remove a minus, we will get the single of 10. Then it's power 1. And we know a number is power 1 is that particular number. So what this means, we will take 2.427 times 1 over 10. So it means this number should be divided by 10, meaning we are going to add 1 decimal point. So that's how we find this kind of answer. I know you have various questions, and I will advise you that you go to our comments, you post your question there. I will be able to answer you because this channel is there for you, so that you can be able to gain mathematical experience. I will say that I'm so grateful so far, so good for your support. So kindly, may you continue watching, subscribing, and sharing. God bless you. See you next time.